Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Cowboys round up. Four in a row. Four in a row against the Broncos. Caveats need to be made. Caveats to be made. No Reece Walsh. No Adam Reynolds. No Ben Hunt. Still, team that won a premiership last year. All the other players in every other position are good players, so I'm taking this as a massive win. This is a classic Cowboys and Broncos game. Fantastic game of football. If I wasn't a Cowboys fan, I would have been loving this, but I was hating it all the way through because it just hurt my soul. No, such a great game of football. I think Jason Tamalolo from 2017 was in the building tonight, which was just crazy to see. Great to see Jace just trucking some absolute nut through the middle. Honestly, what a great game from Jason Tamalolo. I believe he won whatever I think it's a Carl Webb medal actually. Yeah, it would be the Carl Webb medal. Yeah, he won the medal for the derby. Yeah, I think Cohen Hess as well turned back the clock a little bit. A little bit of Origin Hess in the building. Just such a great game from our forwards. I mean, I really enjoyed how many how much meters we were making through the middle. It felt like we were doing a lot of damage through the Broncos middle, which is not easy to do. I mean, you got Payne Haas, Pat Carrigan, like Corey Johnson, like great football players in the middle of that field. We were just punching through them. I really think we've started to adopt the Penrith method of having our backs make so many meters for us, because like you got like Tommy Chester and Jackson Purdue always taking runs and making a good load of meters from the backfield. It's really nice to see. Yeah, I think Tommy Chester's coming on really good. He's a hard ball runner. He always has been. But yeah, it seems to be working even in the NRL, which is awesome for Tommy. He got a try, he deserves one, because I mean, for a second there we thought he may have cost us the game, but shout out to Ashley Klein, who was look. I don't like to be the guy that blames the refs, but I think Ash Klein had a shocking night tonight on both sides. More Cowboys than anything, but it's fine. On both sides, I think it's these in air rules, these fucking disruptors, or like Drinkwater, who was already in midair, had already contested the ball and knew he wasn't going to get it, so he basically turned around and thought about his dismount, I guess, and that becomes a penalty to the Broncos. Like, how does that even work? Anyway, whatever. So I'll get to the scoreline. So it was 31-35. Saw a rando stat this morning. The first time in the history of the NRL that scoreline has ever been. Fair enough. It's a very strange scoreline. Very Cowboys Broncos, actually. So let's get into it on the trusty phone. So for the Broncos, we had Stags, Karapani, Arthurs, Mam, and Ben Tolte. Tom Duffy 5 from 5 with the 1-point field goal as well from Duffy. And then the sin bin in the 9th minute for Pat Carrigan. And then for the Cowboys, we had Jackson Purdue's crazy try. Loved that. Zach Leywat, Sonny Luke, Scott Drinkwater, Tom Chester, and Helam Luki with the winner. 5 for 6 from Jay Clifford. 1-point field goal from Scott Drinkwater as well. So let's talk about the sin bin period. So you obviously had Pat Carrigan on Tommy Chester, shoulder to head. It's always been a sin bin this year. I'm liking the consistency there. We scored 2 tries in that very important time for us. And then you had I guess there was a point in the game where like every single hooker on both sides were like ruled out. So we obviously had Reed Marnie ruled out, and Sonny Luke played most of the game for us. One thing I'd really like to say is, obviously Reed's a great player, but I think he's still adjusting to probably living in Townsville because he's been in Sydney for so long. I don't know. I just think when Sonny Luke's on the field for us, he just gives us a lot more spark out of the 9 position. You know, he runs out every time there is at least one marker or a lagging marker. Sonny Luke gets out and he makes something happen, and that's when we play our best football. We are an ad-lib football team. When we can get on the front foot and just play off instinct, like that's what Drinkwater is the best at. So if Sonny Luke runs through and you got Drinkwater behind him, like who knows what the hell's going to happen? Drinkwater normally just chucks it and something amazing happens. But I'm really starting to like Son. I'm kind of thinking maybe that Reed can start the games and get through all the shit work, you know, the start of the game of the first 20 minutes, and then get Sonny Luke on for that last 60 with his sparker and his running out of the right. It's just I think it's doing a lot for us. Having a great 9 who runs like. You think back to Reece Robson. Reece Robson played 80 minutes every game, so he was more of a defensive 9, but he can be that, that offensive 9. But I think, I think if Robbo had like someone doing the work for him in the middle, he could have done a lot of work. I think that's what Sonny Luke can be for us, Reed Marnie can be our, he does all the shit work, gets all that done, and then you got Sonny Luke who comes on and really makes a mess around the rock. So I'm really loving Son, and he got a try today as well, which is well deserved. Man, I love what Sonny's doing. Let's talk about a former Cowboy, Tom Duffy. Tom Duffy played like in a loss. He played so good today. Me and Dad, when we saw that he got signed by the Broncos, we thought it was a pretty big loss. Like obviously, probably wasn't making our team as it was now with Tommy Dearden and Jake Clifford, but Tom Duffy is a great football player. And I really think, like, obviously he had that one kick out in the full, but, like, his kicking game is pretty good for a player who's played less than 10 games in the NRL, So I really like what I saw from Tom Duffy. The Broncos have Adam Reynolds retiring this year, and then you've got your Jonah Pezzets come in there. Like, if I'm being so honest, I don't think Jonah Pezzets looked like what the Broncos would want him to look like. You could have Tom Duffy being that guy for the Broncos, and I could definitely see it because he's cool, he's calm, he's composed under pressure. He set up a couple of tries tonight. Like he is a fantastic halfback in the NRL. So I could really see him being the halfback of the future over there, instead of Pezzett. But we'll see how it shakes out. But I just love Tom Duffy's game. I've loved it since he's been at the Pride. Like I was really happy to see him given a start last year, and then it didn't go to plan, but. Yeah, I'm always rooting for Tom Duffy, Iggy boy at heart, with him all the way. So, yeah, Tom Duffy played fantastic, and he can hold his head up high for his first game as a Brisbane Bronco. That's a lot of pressure at Sungorb as well against the Cowboys. Lots of pressure on that kid, and he provided. So yeah, I mean, what a freaking game! Helam Lukey with the winner in the back end. I probably said it 100 times, but why are teams not getting to 10 minutes? Like, we had the ball from 40 meters out with like 3 tackles, 10 minutes left. Why are we not setting up for a field goal there? I think as soon as it hits 10 minutes, you should be going for that field goal, because then you're playing out in front and all you have to do is defend and maybe score another try. But what it does to the other team is it puts them on the back foot, and then they start to freak out, They start to think, oh, shit, we gotta get up there. We're a point down. We're losing at this point, I think it just puts a lot of pressure on the other team, and I think teams should, like, I say it every single time it gets to 10 minutes, take a field goal shot, put yourself in front. That's what I think teams should be doing it, but that's just my opinion. I'm not out on the field. It's a tough environment. Anyways, I'll end it there. I'll give you some Dad, because Dad was gracious enough to come to us from his place of work. So here's what old mate had to say.
G'day all. I've stopped shaking after that outstanding win by the Cowboys, 35-31. Bear with me, I've got a heap of notes written down, so I'm going to be looking down a fair bit. What a great win. It was one of those classic Cowboys-Broncos games from the mid-2010s. End-to-end, plenty of points, went down to the wire, and finished up with the Cowboys victory. So 4 in a row for the boys. Tamalolo was classic, Jace. He got over 100 metres in his first stint and finished off his second stint with a great finish. Hess and McHaley took us forward all night. It was one of the better games I've seen Cohen Hess play in a long time. He's definitely backed up his words during the week here. He hated the Broncos and he went out there and showed it. The boys took advantage in the first half of the Carrigan sin binning with 2 tries. A great length of the field effort from Purdue. Definitely showed the money that we paid for him this week is going to be worth it in the future. I'm looking forward to seeing him come good. The Broncos fought back momentum in the second half, thanks to And those who know me know I'm not one to complain about the referees, but there are some questionable decisions from Ashley Klein at the beginning of that second half, which got the Broncos back into the game, I think. But the boys took advantage of a disruptor penalty, which I have no idea what a disruptor is. If somebody can help me out, that would be great. Tommy Chester went over to score to equal the game up, and a couple of field goals either way, and the Cowboys try to heel him, Lukey, right at the end to ice it. What a great win. I would have to... Can't go without giving Tom Duffy props for his first game for the Broncos. Outstanding. Good to see him playing first grade. On to Manly next week, going for 5 in a row at home. Let's go Cowboys.
Oh yeah. So that's 4. That's 4 on the trot, baby. 4 on the trot, baby. So we're 4th currently. I mean, it probably won't shake out like that at the end of the round, but that's fine. Just checking. Oh, so we're the Thursday game next week against the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles in Townsville. Very cool. So Manly next week on the Thursday. I'm pretty confident that we're going to go 5, but Manly have been pretty good with the Fosball era. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm loving what the team's doing. I don't think I could find a bad player on our team all night. So, yeah, very happy with what the Cowboys are doing. 4 on the trot, baby. Let's go for 5. Sucked in Broncos. Oh, one little thing as well. So we obviously had the bet with those Carter boys. It's up to them what they do. I'm not going to force them to. I'm not going to force them to show our tips every week. You know, it's just a fun little thing to get a little bit of collab with another big creator. So yeah, it's up to those boys if they want to uphold it. Like, you know, I get it. They're Broncos fans. They want to tip their team every week. So it's up to them, boys. Gracious in defeat as they were, you know. Yeah, no, I'm not holding anything against them. Anyway, yeah, love you guys. See ya.